lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Scott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, and welcome to Phillies Weekly. Another week of Phillies Weekly, and probably this is our best week. I mean, the Phillies are hot. They're 5-1 over this week, and we've had our best season so far. We have a packed show today with a lot of guests, and here is my main man. There you go, Jeff. How you doing, brother? How about those Fighting Phils, huh?
Yeah, I was told this team sucked 2 weeks ago. What happened?
You're amazing, man. You're amazing. Yeah, after the Mets series, things were not looking good. We've won 11 of the last 14 games, and I'm here at Citizens Bank Park. We just broadcasted the game. I had to travel for my consulting work all week, but was able to catch up and broadcast this entire series with the Guardians. And look, this team is everything today. For example, was the perfect storm, right? Great pitching, great hitting, great timely hitting, and the bullpen looked absolutely awesome. Romano have not looked better this season, so it was a great week. Again, 5-1 is our best week so far. I mean, this is 7th week of the season. We were 2-1 the first week, 5-2 the second week. The third week we went 2-4. That week it's when we were playing in Atlanta and St. Louis. Actually, St. Louis is coming this week to Citizens Bank Park, so that will be very, very interesting. Then we went 4-3 in the series against San Francisco and Miami, 2-4 on the road against the Mets and Chicago, and then last week Washington and Arizona at home. We went 4-2, and now we're 5-1. Best week this entire season, and the team looks its part. So that's great pitching. Our starting pitching is pitching out of their mind, and look, there's some great things happening, Jeff.
Oh, I agree with you, Oscar. So I'm glad you mentioned the starting pitching. It feels like every time a starting pitcher, it doesn't matter who it is on this team, takes the mound, this team has a chance to win the game. And I think you and I have been saying that all year. But I got to give you your props tonight, Oscar, because Kyle Schwarber's first home run, your call was phenomenal, by the way.
Hey, we had fun. I'm telling you, dude. I mean, we're having fun. I mean, look, we have both John and Luke joining us today. We have Tyler later on. Tyler, you know, he's bringing the use today. He's bringing everything today. So, hey, great to see you guys. It's awesome to have you here with us. I mean, thank you, Jeff, for the call. But look, when you're not hitting and you suddenly hit a home run like Schwarber hit, I mean, you got to bring it, man. You got to bring it. That was awesome. And you know what? Schwarber today with his 2 home runs tied, Aaron Judge. So come on, bring on the Yankees. I mean, we're waiting for them.
He's on pace for 57 home runs this year, Oscar. You got to sign him tonight. Sign him during this show.
And it's not just the home runs. It's he's getting on base. What's the streak up to now? 46?
46. The record is 53. So he's 9 away from Mike Schmidt. So that is awesome. That's wild. we have John Foley from OnPattison. We have Luke from Crossing Broad. I mean, guys, it's great to hear. And look, you know what, Jeff, CBS Sports. What can we say, guys? I mean,
I'm filled with all stars here tonight.
And he was, by the way, he was in WIP yesterday. I was able to hear him in WIP. I mean, with Rob and Mike and the entire team in the morning. So it's great to have you here, guys. So how you guys are? How you guys been? How has been the week?
Good week. Probably. I think we all are in kind of agreement. I think it's easily their best week of the season so far. 5-1. Like way more positives than negatives this week.
Absolutely.
The offense is starting to kind of look like an offense and not just a team that goes out and goes hot and cold. I think it was Wednesday night. I think I went back and watched this sequence like 4 or 5 times. They went like opposite field hit, sack bunt, opposite field hit, double in the gap. Like they're just starting to put it all together. And I think, that's what happens when you don't give up on a baseball team 1 month into the season.
I mean, that game, I was actually traveling this week because I had some consulting work, and both El Gringo Malo as well as Angel were doing the game. And I was listening to the game at the airport in Atlanta. And if you've ever been at the airport in Atlanta, I mean, to get from the rental place to the gate, I mean, it takes you like 45 minutes. So I was listening to the whole 8th, 9th, I mean, the extra innings. I mean, what the home run by Stad, I mean, to bring us by 1 run. Then came Kepler to tie the run in the 9th innings, and then coming back in extra innings and winning that game. I mean, that showed that this team is bringing it. So that is awesome news.
Oscar, on Thursday night when I was in Lehigh, we were actually watching the 9th and 10th inning with Garrett Stubbs.
Wow.
It was a fun time. But this is before he came and talked to us. So he's pretty fired up.
We'll have time to talk about Andrew Painter and kind of what your experience there at Lehigh Valley and everything that happened this week. I mean, there's some exciting news. I mean, there's some things are very, very exciting on this team, and we're happy for it. So week 7, 5-1 record. Overall, we're 24-16. At home, 13-6. And we're able to go above 500 by winning tonight, 11-10. And we're 1.5 games behind the Mets. Get ready, Mets. We're coming. The city. We just need to find a way to win in Citi Field. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, don't ask me how, but we're going to have to find a way to hit at Citi Field because last time was not pretty.
You know what's crazy, Oscar? Didn't the Phillies sweep the Mets in Citi Field like around this time last year, or was it was early in the season?
I think we swept them here.
Feels like a while ago if it was.
It was a while ago. I think they're like 5-14 against the Mets at Citi Field since, or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
I don't know.
that's
I just remember. I just flashed the game at Citizens Bank Park where their reliever was completely awful and they blew it in the 9th inning. And there was a storm that was coming, and we were able to win that game. I only remember the good things. I don't remember the bad things. Yeah. So. Overall, 8-2 over the last 10 games, 11 out of the last 14 games. We were 3-1 in March, 14-12 in April, 7-3 May. I mean, we're still 7-8 against the National League East, and 11-11 against teams that are above 500. So things are, looking good. So let's start with you, John. Your overall impressions, both at the Rays series and the Guardian series.
Yeah, I mean, overall, great week. You step back, you take a look. Now they have a top 5 record in baseball. That's exactly where we thought they would be, top 5 team. So, good through the good weeks, the bad weeks. Scotty in the comments says it right here. Damn good week for the Phillies. You got to feel good about it. I'd say my favorite game of the week was the Sanchez-Walker combination that we tossed out there. The idea that you might have Walker coming out and covering 3 whole innings periodically. I mean, look what that does for your bullpen. And then you don't have to use anyone else, and then you've got everyone available next night. So I count that among lots of encouraging signs from this Phillies team.
There's a Phillies and Eagles throwback saying, pay the man. Like Jeff was saying, we got to find a way to pay the man. So send us your comments. I mean, we welcome your comments. This is an interactive show. This is all for you guys. I mean, for you to provide your point of view, kind of the voice of the fans. That's what Phillies Weekly is. So we'd love to make it as interactive as you can. So love to get your thoughts as we go into the discussion. So looking at some of the things here from your point of view, Luke, I mean, how do you saw the week?
Yeah. Once again, easily their best week of the season. I think I went into the Guardian series just kind of basically saying win a game or two, get back home, because I knew they were, obviously a good team after you sweep the Rays. I think, and I don't ever want to say I'm okay with them losing a series, but I think after sweeping the Rays, I think you go in, if you did drop 2 in there, you still go home with a 4-2 road trip. It's not going to kill you. But tonight was a good one, a really good one. Zach Wheeler's just I feel like I'm starting to run out of words to just describe him on the mound now. It's just every night he's just completely in control. I can't remember if it was the 5th or the 6th inning. But one of them, I mean, just strikeout right through. Like, I think it was like an 11 pitch inning. I mean, he just looked in complete control. And I think they're just putting it all together. I think I saw something this morning, and the ERA obviously went down now because they got Alvarado and Romano scoreless tonight. Phillies have the second best bullpen ERA, I believe, in the last 3 or so weeks. So they're starting to find it there. I think we know what the rotation is, and it's only going to get better throughout the season. And the lineup's continuing just to win in different ways. I think that's the nice sort of refreshing thing. I feel like in years past, it was very like, it feels like the Phillies would win games the same way every night. They go out, they hit 3-4 homers, they would leave 10 guys on, and then they would still win the game. But now, they're doing different things at the plate. And while Schwarber's been, the MVP of this team so far, it's not just Schwarber every night. It's Trey right now. Stott, since he moved to the leadoff. Harper, I know he's still sort of getting out of it. I think that homer for him was huge last night.
He got out of it in a big way, huh?
I mean, if that guy starts to get going with how this offense is moving, they're going to really start making a push here. They're in a really good spot. It was a really big week. Obviously, head home now with 6 winnable games over the next week. I think if we do this again,
playing, by the way, we got Skeens pitching on Sunday. I can't wait to broadcast that game. I mean, I can't wait for us to be the Pirates there, and McCutcheon will be coming. Well, I wouldn't call it home, but he's second home. How about that?
He's one of my favorite players in baseball.
He's been one of my favorite guy.
Yeah, he's one of the players that I enjoyed before he came to the Phillies, and I loved him when he was on the Phillies.
So if there are any, I mean, quickly, and we're going to remember how we do the show. We normally are going to go over the hitting, starting pitching, and then relieving. If there are any concerns right now? I mean, Jeff, starting with you, any concerns that you see right now?
It's hard to nitpick, right, when you won 5 or 6. But,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do see there are some concerns for me. I mean, look, Bryce Harper is the least of my concerns. I know Luke touched base on that. He always starts out slow, but needs about 150 to 200 at bats to really get going. So I don't worry about him. If you want to say he's a concern, that's fine. I still think they need bullpen help, obviously. Look, I'm not saying that their bullpen's bad because, like what Luke said, the last, was it 3 weeks? I think.
Yeah, it was a specific date. I think it was like the last 3-ish weeks.
Yeah, I know in May they're 4th in bullpen ERA, so it's getting better. Jordan Romano pitching better. The whole tipping pitches thing is over, so I think that's helping him. But I think you need someone maybe in front of a Ryan Kirkering or around a Ryan Kirkering to kind of help him out a little bit. I don't think you're going to get that immediate help in the minor leagues. Max Lazar doesn't look like he's going to come up anytime soon. Seth Johnson could be a guy. I don't know if that's actually going to be their option. They're not going to move Mick Abel to the bullpen to do that. They like him in the starting rotation. So I think they're going to have to trade for somebody. Again, this isn't going to be for another month or two at the very least.
So you're concerned bullpen. I mean,
I think they need more depth in the bullpen, especially middle relief.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think that's probably – it is hard to nitpick right now, but I think that's still the place. I think if you can add one more – for me, specifically right-hand reliever, I think that would be huge for them. Real quick on the Seth Johnson note, too, like you were saying, I think they want to eventually get him into that role, maybe far down the line. His issue right now seems to be just doesn't really have a put-away pitch. He's getting late, but then he's not putting guys away. It seems like he's going to be a little bit like more of a project over the next month or so. But yeah, I mean, it's the bullpen for me still. But it's not like they're throwing bad. It's just a matter of, you can never have enough pitching.
That's a fair point. How about you, Luke? Anything? Sorry, John. Any particular specific thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it unanimous with the bullpen. I mean, the lineup's playing well. I wrote something about this a couple of weeks ago that the line. What the lineup's going to do over the course of the season. There'll be ups and downs. You pretty much know what you're going to get from the lineup, and you know what you're going to get from the starting rotation. It's one of the best in baseball, and it's only going to get better. You've got Andrew Painter on the way.
I'll mention one in specific, Alvarado. I'm very concerned about the workload of Alvarado. I know this week was a little lighter. I mean, his ERA this week is in the 11th, and we'll see that this week. So that's something that we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes, more about it. But let's pay particular attention to Alvarado and his workload, because he's right now kind of the so-called closer. I think they're trying to bring Romano back into the fold. That's what we saw today. We've seen Strom a little bit in that role, but Alvarado is such a critical pitcher for us, either in the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th inning, that he's going to be the pitcher is going to pitch against the high leverage guys. I mean, we're going to have to be very, very careful with him.
I will say real quick on the Alvarado note before we move on. I thought tonight was probably the first time I really noticed it about matchups. I was a little confused at first when they brought him in. I believe it was the 8th batter of the Guardians to start.
8th, 9th, and
the sole reason that he brought Alvarado in was to face Stephen Kwan. So I think to see Rob Thompson do that in a May baseball game, I think they're very much still going by committee here. I mean, obviously, I think their ideal situation is probably Matt Strom 8 and then Alvarado 9. But if you have a good hitter that has a hard time against lefties in that 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, you're probably going to see Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, I mean, the two guys in this lineup that would scare you are Kwan and Ramirez. I mean, Kwan is the spark plug, and Ramirez is the big time hitter. I mean, the MVP of this team. So, I mean, that's why they brought him. He wanted to make sure that he kept that lead. I mean, 3 runs, and he did his part. He did a tremendous job. And look, he struck out John. I mean, or the 8th hitter that came as a pinch hitter. I mean, then Martinez, and then got Kwan on a fly ball to center field, and he set the table then for Romano to be able to close this game. But let's go one by one. Let's start with hitting. I mean, kind of where hitting is to date. So it's something that we're gonna have to pay particular attention. So we went. Let me put this up here for a second and take this out. So we're 10th. Here's where our hitting is. We're 10th in hitting right now. In 4.82 runs per game. I mean, this was prior to the game today. We scored 3 runs, so I mean the average should be around 10th in all of baseball. In OPS, we are 11th. The colors are, if we're top 10, we are in green. If we are between 11 and 20, we are in yellow, and then we go up to if we're above 20, between 20 and 30 teams, we're in red. So basically, what you see here is that we hit the top 10. We were 7th, 11th. This is by week, right? So 3 weeks ago we were 7th. Then we went down to 11th to 12th in runs scored per game. Now we're up to 4.82 runs. We're 10th in baseball. In OPS, I mean, you see it. We've been kind of at this middle of the pack type of a row. 11th at 741 in OPS. In home runs, we're 16th right now in baseball. We've been catching up a little bit. 21 4 weeks ago. Now we're down to 16th. And then you see the percentage of strikeouts, which we've been at the 10% or 10th in baseball. We're right now at 8, striking out 20.4%, and we're 6th in base on balls, the most bases on balls in baseball. What we have not been good at is runners in scoring position. And I'm going to bring you a chart that I found very, very interesting. Take a look at the next slide, which I found interesting, and I would love your thoughts on this. I know it's a big chart with a lot of numbers in it, but the Phillies are 4th in all of baseball in OPS, and we're 6th in average with runners in a scoring position. But when you look at the previous slide, we're 27th in MLB leaving runners in a scoring position. So explain to me how we are 6th in average and 4th in OPS with runners in scoring position, and we are 27th leaving runners in the scoring position. Any
Right.
thoughts?
Well,
That's
that
got
means
to mean
you're,
they're getting a lot of runners on base, right?
yeah. John, you just said what I was about to say.
Okay.
No,
So,
we're-
even that can be looked at as, we could look at that as kind of a positive. You can't leave runners in scoring position if you don't get them in scoring position.
Yeah, which we are, but we're not bringing. I mean, part of the I was discussing it during the game, and one of the thoughts that Bill brought was the thought of Harper and Schwarber are getting too many. I mean, are getting on base, be a base on balls, and Castellanos and the Keplers on the swirls, and we know the numbers for Kepler with runner scoring positions is not very good. So they're not letting our big hitters hit. I mean, that is a thought it's worth thinking about as we go further into this and start looking at some of this data. But I just found it interesting that we're fourth in OPS with runners in scoring position, but we're leaving so many runners on base. So again,
another thing too, Oscar, is they are, I think it's now 25th in batting average with the bases loaded. So that is also another stat besides runners in scoring position. But, John's right. They're leaving a lot of runners on base. They're getting a lot of runners on base. They do hit the ball with runners on base. Look, they're, like it says up there, they're fourth in batting average.
Alex is saying here that we're not finishing, and that's true. We're not.
It's hard to finish in baseball, to be honest. If look, I mean, the numbers are what the numbers are. I mean, you're getting guys on, and you are hitting with guys on base. They have a high OPS. You're getting a lot of look. I think people are upset we're not seeing the Charlie Manuel era ball go boom when runners are on base right now. My concern is just, and I think the bases loaded numbers are going to go up too. I think they're only hitting like 201 or 202 with runners and bases loaded. But again,
But take a look at this. I mean, look at the amount of bases on balls that both Harper and Schwarber are getting compared to the rest of the lineup, which is expected. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, Harper is at 356 on base percentage. Schwarber is at 402. Again, all these numbers were prior to the game today. But I mean, it's and you saw it. Harper got on base. I mean, what was it? Where he got? I'm looking here in the sixth inning. I mean, Turner struck out, and then Harper got a base on balls, and then Schwarber got on a fight there. Ended up with a fly ball to left field. A few fights with the umpire today, by the way. A few discussions.
Yeah. The ball struck. The calls were not good. I'll just say that.
Yeah. And we had too many strikeouts. I think we had 13 strikeouts in the game. But again, the bases on balls to Schwarber and Harper, so Castellanos and Kepler are the ones that need to bring the runners in. But it's worth thinking about it and looking at it as we go into this and some of the dynamics around our hitting. Any thoughts on how we're hitting so far this season? So we see Schwarber, of course, has been our MVP. Hitting, you see Harper there. He's been on a slump. We look at the last week. Harper actually move up. I mean, with a home run, he got the second home run and the 6 RBIs. Pretty nice OPS here. I mean, you see March started hot, which is good to see. It's interesting. One of the things that I'm seeing interesting around our hitting is that Rojas is playing one game and then March is playing the other. Rojas did not play a good game today at all. So he did not look good at all. But it's worth looking at it. March has started hot, so I might run the ride with March a couple of games here. Any thoughts, guys, when you're seeing what you've seen over the last week?
Yeah, so I'm happy you did pull up the last week's stats because Marsh down at the bottom in red for the season. Obvious, the season numbers don't look great, but I've basically just had to throw the first month of the season out the window for Brandon Marsh, and I think he's done the same thing. He's looked really, really good since he came back from Lehigh Valley. I think the swing looks way better. He's not just pounding the ball into the ground anymore, which was really his issue early in the year. He was hitting so many ground balls the first month of the season. It seems like he's really driving the ball now, which has been good. And I mean, the two guys, like if you went back to that full season stats, the two guys at the bottom that you had in red are now the two at the top in green, him and Bohm. So those two guys from the beginning of the season that we really needed to get going are finally starting to get going. A rough week for Kepler, but not really worried about Kepler. I'm still almost blown away. And like, I watched Kepler a pretty good amount before he came to the Phillies, but I never noticed, and maybe it's gotten better since he's become a Philly. He works incredible at bats. It seems like every night it's either like a minimum of 2 at bats that goes like 8, 9, 10 pitches. He works some really awesome at bats, and whether he's, getting a hit or getting out, there's moments where he comes up in like the 5th inning of a game where a starter's like on the edge of coming out, and he works like a 9, 10, 11 pitch at bat. So he's had a pretty nice start to the season for me, Max Kepler.
Yeah, and you talk about Kepler and his nice at bats. How about Bryson Stott?
Yeah, they're
in the leadoff spot, seeing so many pitches, and just feels like a more professional baseball effort that they're putting out there and their approach to the plate. We saw those strikeout and walk percentages. I guarantee if they can keep those in the green in their color-coded system, I think all of those other offensive numbers are going to end up in the green as well.
Thoughts in general about Turner? What are your? I mean, Turner has changed his approach to hitting. I mean, he's making contact, and you've seen the base hits to right field today. Him and Rojas did not look good at the plate at all. But in general, I mean, you're seeing him making contact and bringing and hitting a lot of soft base hits. I don't know, Jeff. Any thoughts on Turner in general?
Yeah,
him?
Yeah, Trey's starting to look like the player I saw in his early years with the Nationals. He's driving the ball opposite field. He's getting on base, scoring a lot of runs. He's getting a lot of stolen bases. I mean, that's how he became one of the best young players in baseball. And look, I put out a stat yesterday. Trey Turner was hitting .300 with 23 home runs over his last 162 games. I think everybody in this room would take that. I think people are shocked to hear that because all you hear is, oh, he's not living up to his contract. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Well, he actually is. It's just this is who Trey Turner is. We just don't.
I love this version of Trey Turner. This is the version of Trey Turner I wanted. There's a lot of guys on this team that can hit a ton of bombs. There's not many guys on this team that can hit 300. So for Trey Turner to go out there and slap around, if it's mostly singles, that's fine with me. Get on base however you need to, and wreak some havoc on the base paths.
I think it speaks volumes too that now that it seems like he's more committed to that contact approach over the last like 2-3 weeks. I think it speaks volumes that the Phillies offense has clicked way more over the last 2 to 3 weeks. He's not sitting in the 2-hole trying to hit a home run every time. I mean, that goal from that video that he had in, I believe it was one of Rob Thompson's interviews before one of the games where they said he basically told him he wants a 380 on base percentage and he wants him to just hit for contact. And he has over a 380 on base percentage now this season, I believe, or at least that might be updated from after tonight. But he's around there.
I think Rob said he wanted 40 stolen bases too.
Yeah, exactly. And he's on pace for that. And he's on pace for a 3 on base percent. Like, this is the player you need. Yeah. Kyle Schwarber, obviously, as we know, can hit home runs. He's on pace for like 57 home runs. Bryce Harper, no matter what he's doing right now, he's going to come out of it. Castellanos, while he's not maybe a power hitter, he has pop. Max Kepler has pop. Like, you don't need Trey to hit 30 home runs. You need Trey to finish the season with over 200 hits and a 380, 390 on base percentage. If you get that, then like that is exactly what you need from Trey.
Yeah, he was 5th in the National League in batting average going into tonight, which, if any of us would have posted that, I think people would have been shocked because all you hear is the negative stuff about Trey, but he's had a really good 3-week stretch here.
Yeah, I was listening on the Philly show, Mark DeRosa talking about Schwarber, Turner, and Realmuto, and I see Turner hitting those 5 home runs that he hit on the Grand Slam, and said, "Where is that Trey Turner? Is that the same player?" I mean, and it's the reality. I mean, I think once he begins to make the contact that he's hitting, is hit over the last 18 games, like 400. I mean, once he gets himself going, I'm sure some of the power is going to come back. I mean, it's he has just a couple of home runs, and I think, look, we pay this player to slug and bring runs in as well. But I do like the combination of Stott and Turner and their speed they bring, because it opens our entire lineup to be able to bring Schwarber in the back. I mean, with runners in scoring position and produce a lot more runs. I mean, Harper hit a home run yesterday with Stott on base, and we got a couple of runs there that allows to begin that rally in the 8th inning where we scored 6 runs and ended up winning, putting 7 runs up there. So
exactly.
Look,
and Oscar, you talked about the walks with Harper and Schwarber not getting pitches to hit. Well, one way to put a stop to that is having guys on base in front of them. If there's nowhere to put them, now they're in a situation.
Let's move a little bit to our pitching, right? Starting pitching has been amazing. I mean, when you look at some of the stats, this team has put together 3.35 ERA. We're number 6 in baseball. This is your starting pitching. Our starting pitching is 6th in baseball in ERA. Look, if Ranger continues to pitch the way he pitched yesterday we saw the Power Ranger that we have looked for the beginning of last year. I mean, 7 innings, not allowing a run. I mean, striking out 5. I mean, still 1 base on balls. I mean, that's a Ranger that we know controlling the strike zone. I mean, he looked amazing yesterday.
Oh, I loved it. There were 2 highlights of this week for me. Ranger Suarez pitching what he basically looking like all-star Ranger Suarez last year, and Taijuan Walker, 3 innings out of the bullpen, striking out 7. Oh, by the way, Garrett Stubbs mentioned this to us. He texted Taijuan Walker after that and said, "Bro, that was sick." So, that's perfect. And the way Walker has been able to take that role, he's not going to get a lot of opportunities in the bullpen unless they're winning 7-0 or losing 7-0. For him to do that, and then Rangers just coming out and saying, "You know what? I'm Ranger Suarez. I'm way better than the player that pitched against the Diamondbacks last week." To me, that's awesome. If they could get the first half 2024 Ranger Suarez back, this team's going to win a lot of games.
I mean, it's just a lot of fun right now. All these guys in the rotation. If you say you're about to turn on the game, you don't know who's pitching, you take a look. Luzardo, hell yeah. Sanchez, hell yeah. Zach Wheeler, hell yeah. No matter who it is, you're not going to be disappointed. And every time they take the mound, somebody made this point earlier, they're going to have a chance to win the game. Every time these guys take the mound, they all have a chance of doing something special. So,
absolutely. Let's move to the bullpen. So the bullpen went from 27 2 weeks ago to 25, now to 23 at 473. So we're seeing a slight improvement. Let's talk a little bit about bullpen, and let me try to put this in perspective. I want you to look at Alvarado. Let me take this out. Let's look at Alvarado over the last week or so, because that's my biggest concern. I mean, when you look at some of the numbers for Alvarado, you look at him out here: 11.57 ERA, a win and a loss. Today was the 3rd day that he pitched. He pitched really well, but two and a third innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 RBIs. Part of this, 3 runs. One of the concerns that I have that if you overuse Alvarado, he loses his effectiveness, particularly striking out people. I mean, he had an inning today and he struck out 1, but he didn't pitch for 2 or 3 days in a row, which was good. So I'm just concerned about overworking him, because he did not look very good in the Arizona in the last game in Arizona versus Arizona, and he came in for a 2nd inning. So we need to be very, very careful with this. I'm just concerned with him. The other thing that I point out here is Orion Kerkering, 3 bases on balls and 2 strikeout. Jeff, your thoughts on Orion? I know you know him well, and he's a guy that we need him badly. And he's been, to a certain extent, a little bit of inconsistency. We see it in him.
Yeah, you know what, Oscar? I'm glad you pointed out the Alvarado stuff, too, before I get into Kerkering. Look, he only pitched twice this week in 2 innings, and he didn't give up a run. So that's really good. So that kind of eases a little bit of concern there. But, yeah, with Kerkering right now, I feel like his fastball is doing really well. His cutter's doing really well. I don't know what it is. They're just not calling it as much as they should, because they want to go to his bread and butter, which is that sweeper. And right now it's just a little off. And I'll talk to Orion sometime this week when they're back at Citizens Bank Park, and we'll probably, chat up about a couple things. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like he's adjusting to this role, whether it's a high leverage situation or look, he's their best righty right now. They got. I know they've gone with Joe Ross a couple times this week, but he's the best righty they got right now, and that's why my concerns were okay with this bullpen. Let's get more middle relief, or as Luke said earlier, let's get a right-handed reliever for this thing.
Yeah, I think one of Orion's sort of issues this year has been he's just not getting a ton of whiff on the sweeper. The whiff rate is like down like 11% from last year. And he's not throwing that, sinker that he kind of has a ton. But the 29 times he's thrown it, it's getting hit right now, 429 average. So that pitch is kind of getting extremely hit around right now.
One question, building on your point, Luke, I have not seen his sweeper moving at the same rate that we saw last year or we've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm not either. I also think people are just kind of slowly starting to figure him out a little bit. For me, I think he just needs to commit to the fastball more. He's having trouble putting away lefties specifically right now, which is definitely an issue for him. I'm not necessarily worried, but I think
we know the talent. We know he's extremely talented.
Yeah, no, he has the stuff to be really, really good.
I want to add on this too. I'm not going to pick on the guy.
No, not either.
He really seems to struggle when Marshawn catches him.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I got to look at those numbers.
Yeah, Nola. And we'll talk in a few minutes about stops and some of the dynamics there. Luke Tyler is going to join us momentarily, but it's an interesting thought. It's a very, very interesting thought. Yeah, and look, I think we think the world of the guy. We know how good he's going to be. Just, we want him. We want him to be there as quickly as possible. That's kind of the reality of things. So
yeah, so I will say really quick on that note, Jeff. When Ryan Kerkering's caught by JT Real Muto, he's a 3.86 ERA with a 2.27 batting average against and a 7.26 OPS. When he's caught by Rafael Marchani, is an 8.10 ERA with a 3.57 batting average against and a 1.089 OPS.
So my instincts were correct.
Yeah, there's obvious concerns there.
The other thing that you have is the situation with Nola. You saw the numbers yesterday. I think they put it on NBC Sports. That the numbers is like above 7, the ERA when Nola is catched by Marchand. And look, Marchand is a good catcher. He's proven to us and over the years that he's done a pretty nice job. But look, the reality is that he's not. The results are results. At the end of the day, we're performance based. We have to perform, and that's the bottom line. So we'll talk more about that. And as we have Tyler joining us. Tyler, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. How's everyone else doing?
How's Phil Stelgate having a good day today after that win, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Everything's positive right now.
Oh, everything's possible.
Nobody ever said a bad word about the team ever.
No. And Jordan Romano is everyone's favorite reliever tonight.
Hey, Tyler, I love how you pointed out the other day. I was going on the For You button, and a lot of your tweets like to come up for you, I think, because we follow each other. But when you put up Hoffman's stats, that you put up the tweet when he had like a 1.4 ERA.
Oh my!
Yeah. People love to remind me of that, but I think just at the beginning of the year, things were going so well for him and things are going so bad for Romano that myself included and everyone else seemed to be pretty emotional about that. So
I will say when Romano gets days off, you can see his velocity going up and the control of his slider significantly better. And he looks the part. He definitely looks the part. Like today, he was throwing gas and you can see the movement on that slider. He just needs time. The same thing with Alvarado. When you give him time, he's going to strike out 2 or 3 batters a game because they need the appropriate rest. And
yeah, A lot of these guys in this bullpen have been hyping up Jordan Romano all season, even when he's been struggling. They said, "Hey, once he gets it figured out, then I think we all know what they meant by that." On and off the record. But yeah, he's looking like Jordan Romano again.
He has a track record pre-injury that tells you this is a good pitcher.
Yeah.
He's healthy. He's apparently healthy. I don't know if he was tipping pitches or not, but if he was, that's behind him. And hopefully the future is bright here.
That seemed to be the consensus of what it was. I won't say it, but it seemed to be it.
Tyler, we're going to talk. He's going to bring us some of the thoughts on the minor leaguers. I mean, Steve Porter, of course, our dear friend, always bring his perspective. So here is kind of where we are. Tyler, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So last year's first round pick, Dante Nori, hit his first professional home run this week, which was great. He's definitely getting on base, and he is getting a lot of extra base hits, but it's good to see some power coming out from him. He just needs to be consistent down there and just keep getting at bats. And he's a few years away, but it's been encouraging so far.
Yeah, he's one of the things that Steve provided here, he's 10 out of the last 31 at bats. He's hitting much better. You see some of the numbers there, and look at how he started. The season did not start very well, and it's good to see our first round pick beginning to catch fire. So that is great news. And for the third week in a row, the one and only Mick Abel, he's back.
He just keeps getting it done, and it's tough in the lower minor leagues to find pitchers of the week because, they might only be going 4 innings, or they pitch might have their team getting no hit, which happened in Reading a couple days ago.
No hit. They got perfect game there.
Yeah, but
it's perfect game. Even worse.
Did you see what happened? The other team pulled the starter with 99 pitches. He needed one more out. And his manager pulled him 1 out shy of a perfect game.
Yeah, I was getting texts across the board from people in Reading what is he doing? I'm like, I don't know. It's so hard to throw a perfect game in the Eastern League. I think Reading did it. I want to say it was 2001. I think they had a perfect game in the Eastern League, and there's only been 2 or 3 since that time. So it's hard to do.
Well, one of the things that I found very interesting, and it's right with what you said, Tyler, that they only pitch once or max twice. One of the guys, one thing that Steve Porter mentioned, which caught my attention, was to talk about Nabil Crismat. This is the guy that used to pitch for San Diego, which surprised me initially because they changed him from being a reliever to a starter. This guy is pitching lights out. Over the last week, he's pitched 13 innings, 4 hits. He has not allowed a run, 5 bases on balls, and 8 strikeouts. And one of the interesting things that Steve brought up is apparently he has an opt-out. So if he doesn't come up, if there is not an injury, Nabil Crismat, which is not in the 40-man roster, we might lose him at some point.
Yeah.
And the guy was lights out this week, for example.
You know why these guys are pitching so well in Lehigh? I'm going to bring him up again. Garrett Stubbs.
Well, we'll talk about Garrett Stubbs in a couple of slides. We'll talk about Gary Slubb because he has a special place for all of us. But it's very, very interesting. So Lazard also, I'm going to look at the last 15 days here that we don't have in the slides. But there are guys that are pitching completely lights out. In addition to let me see here. Some of the things that Steve mentioned, some of the guys that he did mention, Alan Rangel, he's pitching very well. Kyle Tyler is another guy in Lehigh Valley. He's pitching really, really well. So it's some of the guys that, Tyler has a 225 over the last 15 days, 12 innings. He allowed 3 runs, 6 strikeouts. Lazard is a 270, his ERA. He hasn't been pitching much. He's only pitched 5 times over the last couple of weeks, but look, it's interesting. And he did mention Nicolas Padilla a couple of weeks ago that he brings. So there's some minor leaguers, particularly in the high in AAA, that could come and help the Phillies at some point.
Hey, how about that big right-hander that made his AAA debut?
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good, John.
I heard he might be something.
Well, talking about that, Tyler, you want to walk us through the top five guys and how they're doing in the minors?
Yeah, so I watched Painter start. I know you were there, Jeff, as well. I only got to see the first 2 innings when everything was going pretty well.
What happened in the third?
Once
I'm
he hit
curious.
the third, I mean, at least from watching the replay, it looks like he got a little frustrated and lost the zone. But I would love to hear your perspective on exactly what happened there.
I mean, that's pretty much what happened. He was facing Roman Anthony, as we all know. He's the number one prospect in baseball, and he struck out Anthony on the curveball the first time up. One of the sicker pitches I've seen Painter throw. Second time, he had him, and Anthony worked the walk, and I don't know what happened with Painter after that. It was just he walked the guy on 4 pitches right after that, and he – Stubbs came out and talked to him, and he walked another guy, and all of a sudden, bases loaded with 2 outs, and he gets Blake Sable to pop up, and that was a 3-2 count. So,
that's
the
thing he worked out of it. So that shows you something too. I mean,
and Stubbs said this to him. Painter doesn't give you much, but Stubbs will. And Stubbs was like, I told him, like, dude, this is the moment we were talking about. Like, not everything's going to go perfect in AAA. There's going to be situations like this. You're going to have to nut up. And he did. And Stubbs was fired up for him. And I was more impressed by that than the 3-ball counts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's pretty tough to believe that Painter's only 22 years old. You watch him on the mound, and he just seems so much older.
He acts like it too. It's a good thing.
Adam Miller, I mean, he's played 27 games. He has some back discomfort, and it might be impacting his power and how he started the years. I mean, we know the quality of player he is, and I'm sure he's going to turn this around and be much more effective than he's been so far this year. Want to talk about Justin Crawford?
The other thing with Miller, too, is just how young he is, too. I mean, he's only 20 years old. He's playing in Double-A really for the first long stretch of his career. So, I mean, I think he's definitely just needs more time. And we can see it here, too. The back issues definitely could be affecting him. But it's just one of those things where fans want him called up. They just assume he's going to be the starter and the infielder next year. And, just needs more time.
I've been telling people since he got called up to Reading, he's going to be in Reading all this year. And, I mean, the numbers are showing he always starts out slow. But, again, there are some injuries he's battling. But, he started out slow in Jersey Shore, too. And he had a 5 or 6 week stretch where he was probably the best player in what's that league called? Where are they in? The Sally League? I always forget what the league's called. Jersey Shore's in. You guys know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the name of the.
I know the team's in. I just don't know the name. So, or maybe the Sally League's the one down south. I don't know. The league Jersey Shore's in. He was like the player of the month for like August.
That's great. Let's talk. Eduardo Taid has been. I think he's been having some. He only played 3 times, and as a DH, he's been having some. He's been banged up a little bit this week, so he only played 2 games actually this week. So it's some, but his numbers are like. I mean, this guy's amazing. I mean, look at his OPS is at 861, 6 home runs, 6 doubles, 21 RBIs. This guy's going to be a big time player for us.
He's 8 years old.
He's 18 years old, putting up these. He's going to be a monster.
I'm going to tell you guys this: Nate Dombrowski is not trading this guy for. I don't care who it's for. He's not trading this guy.
This guy is our future. I mean, I remember Ruiz talking to us on the booth and said, look, they asked me to go in and help him become a better catcher. So you imagine, I mean, if he can learn a little bit from Ruiz from the catching side, I mean, he's going to be a hitting machine. He's going to be
hopefully still develops into a catcher though, because I mean, he's a pretty big kid.
What's crazy about Taid is he's probably 3 years away, and he's only going to be 21 when he's 3 years away. I still can't get over this.
Yeah, and he's going to be paired with 25-year-old Andrew Painter for a decade more.
Yeah, and the way Mick Abel's pitching, he might be paired with him too.
Hey,
Moises,
dynasty in the wings.
Moises Chase, he was going to pitch today, 21-year-old. I mean, he has a tremendous arm, a very heavy fastball. He had some issues where he had some illness prior to spring training during the offseason. Steve mentioned that to me, and it's something that they've been treating him very, very slow. He's only started 5 games. He was going to start today, but for some rainouts that they had down in Clearwater, he did not start it.
Bigman since had a bunch of rainouts, and they've been. I think he's going to pitch Tuesday. But he hasn't given up a run. I think in his last 7.1 innings pitched or something like that. Like, he's starting to come along. But Steve's right. Yeah, it's just they've been slowly building him up. He lost a lot of weight this offseason.
Yeah, this guy's special. I mean, he can bring it. He was in the future game, and he started there. So I really like everything that I've seen out of Chase. I had the opportunity to talk to him in Spanish. He's from Venezuela, and where I'm from. And the guy is the guy is the part. I mean, he's going to be a special player. He knows he needs to work very, very hard, and I'm expecting him to basically turn it out. I was talking to Steve earlier today, and I said, look, he should stay in Clearwater and don't go down south. I mean, I've been hearing some of the team down in Venezuela, they want to trade him. They want to get the guy so he pitches down there. No, keep him in Clearwater until he can get his act together, and then he can pitch maybe a couple of times for the Venezuelan World Baseball Classic. But no, don't bring him down.
It's one of the best trades Dombrowski's ever made.
Yeah. By the way, it was so incredible. I mean, the guy getting Seth Johnson and getting this kid. I mean, that was really, really impressive for one of the guys that we sent down there for what was it, Gregory Soto. Yeah, that was an impressive trade.
Yeah, everybody loves
good trade deadline for the minor leagues. The major league players didn't work out the way we hoped, but
absolutely,
these guys might turn out to be the centerpiece.
Look, let's talk about this guy because this guy is one of our favorite. To me, I call it special player of the week. To me, is Garrett Stubbs. I mean, what Garrett Stubbs is doing for this organization right now, I mean, he should be highlighted and he should get a special prize for this. I mean, look, going down there because he had options. We knew, I mean, if you didn't have any other if he wouldn't have options, he would be the catcher here. I mean, we all like Marchand and kind of what he brings, but this guy and having him down there and turning Mick Abel around and being the mentor for Andrew Painter is very, very special. Yeah. I mean, to me,
it's incredible. It's incredible. He goes down there. Not only does he take the assignment, understand it, not complain, not throw a fit. He goes, and not only does he go, he embraces it and embraces this role.
Yeah, he bought a house there up in Lehigh. Like, he's on board. And look, don't be shocked the day Andrew Painter comes up. Garrett Stubbs may be coming up with him.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so impressed. I mean, I'm so impressed by what he's done and what he's going to be doing for this organization. I think the organization is going to have to make a decision at some point over the summer in terms of once Andrew Painter is ready. I mean, once we see further down the road where Mick Abel is capable of doing. I mean, Mick Abel continues to pitch the way he is. I mean, the way he's pitching. I mean, this guy. I mean, what is the organization going to be doing? We know Painter is coming up, and something is going to have to happen from a starting pitching standpoint. But look, kudos to Garrett Stubbs, what he's been able to do, and he. The other thing, he's not only showing the part, he's showing it. I mean, 316 average, 19 RBIs, 14 runs. I mean, 2 home runs. I mean, an OPS
in a home run today too.
He hit a home run today. I mean, look, I love the guy. I mean, I love.
Iron Pigs are just a wagon.
I love what he brings.
They're good. They're good, John. Like, as for as bad, for as bad Reading is, that's how good Lehigh is.
And it's interesting too with Stubbs and with Marchand when he was in AAA. Giving these guys basically everyday reps, and also just being able to fully get opportunities. It really works out wonders for them. And even last year when JT went down, they were both hitting well together. But Stubbs really does have that relationship, and he works so well with pitchers. And I know that people have been saying, bring Stubbs back up and DFA Marchand, but He really is doing wonders down there in AAA for us.
You know,
Yeah, I think-
the funniest thing I heard from Stubbs this week was that he knows that the stories were out there about they needed to bring him back up, and he was just laughing about it. Like, yeah, oh yeah, they really need to bring me up to fix it, you know. And he's like, they're fine.
Too. I saw Marchand at bat, and I tossed something out there like we might as well have Stubbs here because
he can hit 070.
because he can do it, and he's more fun. I don't know.
Look, Jeff, it's the South Atlantic League.
So it is the Sally League. That's the nickname for it. Yeah, the Sally League.
But I do want to say I think Marchand's getting a little bit, me included, a little bit of a bad deal here because the sample size he's only got like
he doesn't play at all.
Bats. He hasn't really.
I agree. I feel bad. I mean, he's only playing once a week, and look, it's not easy to just come once a week. And I know his average is not where he wants to, and he's a great guy. Look, the other day they were interviewing him in Spanish, and he said they asked him what's the greatest thing. And look, the guy said making the team this year is the greatest thing that I've accomplished as a professional player. I mean, and he's a good guy, man. And I agree with you.
Okay, here's my concern with the Phillies. They play JT too much. They don't play Marchand enough, but you can't play Marchand because the pitchers just can't do anything when he's in. It kind of sucks. Like, because I love the kid. I want to see Marchand play, but I mean, JT just doesn't take days off.
Yeah.
Hey, he's done well with Luzardo and Walker, so
yeah, he has. So it's not like he all these guys are bad. It's Mitham.
And honestly, JT still can't hit lefties for some reason this year. So that's a good opportunity to slide Marchand in.
I've seen you putting those stats up, and I just can't believe it.
It doesn't make sense.
Struggling so much against lefties.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. Hey, let's talk about next up. I know it's late and it's after a game, so I want to keep this to an hour for all of us. So, Tyler, start with you. Thoughts about this week and what's coming? And by the way, look at the match. Let me see here. Look at the match on Sunday, man. I can't wait for that. Sanchez against Skeens. I mean, Sanchez pitches so well here against Skeens. That's going to be a classic.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. I unfortunately will be missing it. Going to Europe for a few weeks and will not have a lot of internet. So
he's going. I mean, this guy is traveling international. Unbelievable, man. You're on vacation while we have to stay here and kind of bang. Okay, well, no problem.
I know all the games are at like 3 a.m. So
are you going to get up at 3 a.m. to watch them?
I know I might have to for a few games.
Come on, Phil Selgate is going to suffer. You should give it to Jeff. Jeff can run Phil Gate while you're out on vacation.
Exactly.
I'm going to be like, oh, hi, I'm Jeff Kerr. I'm taking over Tyler's account for 3 weeks.
Man. He's going to have some fun with that account. That will be fun. That will definitely be fun. John, your thoughts about the week?
All I see is a bunch of W's.
My God.
I see a lot of W's on that.
Livitor. I still remember that Sunday with Livitor, man. That was. I mean, we had 2 shutout games. I mean, we had 4 shutouts this season, and 2 were in St. Louis. Incredible.
Yeah. Don't you guys remember the season was over after they faced Livitor?
Yeah.
Season's
been over a lot of times.
The Cardinals are pretty hot right now.
They're playing. They're 22 and whatever 16 or something similar to that. Gray and Fetty are two very good pitchers. I mean, I know we've hit Gray in the past. Fetty, his last time out, he pitched really, really well. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, Sanchez, Luzardo, and Nola versus Livitor, Gray, and Fetty, and then we have Ranger pitching Friday against Haney. He kind of was throw in at the last minute as a free agent that came into Pittsburgh. I mean, there's expectation that he might get traded. And then I'll let Luke pronounce the last name of the pitcher.
I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to have to do that. No,
all right, guys. I have a serious question for you. Have you heard of any of these starters on the Rockies?
Kyle Freeland. I'll tell you what. I know Anthony Senzatella. I know Anthony Senzatella because I fade him every single time the Rockies play, and it's an easy moneymaker because he's really bad. But don't recognize the third one.
That,
Yeah, that's
that
what I
last
said. I
guy
never
was
heard
the
of
one
him.
who
He
was
picks
starting
up.
that game that they gave up the 20 runs.
Oh,
Oh,
Bladlock.
perfect. So we'll go 6 shutout against us probably.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you guys see?
they let go. By the way, I feel for Bud Black. He's a really good manager.
I think this
mean-
is good for Bud Black.
Yeah, it is. It's very good for. Hey, by the way, he did go out a winner. They won today.
It would be good for my mental too if I got to leave that team. Good
Yeah, my God.
lord.
Are they the worst run organization in baseball right now? The Colorado Rockies.
It's not even close. Wow.
Like we
Well-
all know the White Sox, but man, it's like you guys know the Rockies have like 7 wins.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
baseball
insane.
must be like
It's
sports.
insane. So look, I think
There's a lot
I
of tough
think
competition,
Luke, I
but-
think you mentioned it in the beginning. These are winnable games.
Yeah.
Particularly, I mean, Pittsburgh and Colorado. I mean, those are winnable except the Skeens. I mean, game that will be very, very interesting. Sanchez against Skeen on Sunday. But look, we got 4 games at Colorado, 3 games against Pittsburgh, San Luis. I mean, it'll be very, very interesting. The Phils can take. I mean, we should take advantage of this schedule, this part of the schedule, to win a few games.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one team that they play. It's St. Louis and the Athletics, and the Athletics are 1 game above 500. That's the only teams for the rest of the month that they face above 500.
Well, we're playing it at the Athletics, so it's going to be a very similar scenario. Playing in minor league stadium, just like we did in Tampa, and we sweat Tampa. So, but the A's can hit. I mean, they're a very good hitting team. And remember what happened last year before the All-Star game. I mean, in Philly. I mean, they had our number.
Can't take any teams for granted. They got to go out there and take advantage of this soft part of the schedule while they can.
Yeah.
And these wins count the same. You take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. That counts the same as taking 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh. So
And then we got Atlanta and Milwaukee coming at the end of the month. So they're going to be coming at the end of the month. So things are going to be a lot tighter. And I'm expecting by then that Ronald Acuna is going to be and Strider are going to be with the Braves potentially by the end of the month. So the Atlanta Braves are going to be there. I think right now a couple games behind 500. They're going to be in the thick of things as we move forward here.
absolutely.
Hey guys, cannot thank you enough. Thank you for joining us. Tyler, where can we follow you? And we'll see you in about 3 weeks. Where can we follow you?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Twitter at Phil's Tailgate.
Thank you, brother. Luke, thank you for joining us. Truly appreciate it. Where can we follow you in social media?
Yes, sir. Just at Arcaini Luke on Twitter. It's either, I feel like I said this last time, it's either first name, last name, or last name, first name. You can sort of find it everywhere.
Accounts, so remember they
Yeah,
can pick whichever they
the
like.
Twitter's last name first and the Instagram's first name first. It's all over. the place.
I was going to ask you,
name's
like,
there.
is your Instagram different than your Twitter?
Yeah, I really wish I didn't do that when I made my Twitter. I don't know why I put my last
you know
name
what?
first,
You
but
keep
now
it.
I
You keep
kind of
it.
regret
I mean, you
doing
got to
that.
keep it going. I mean, you got to
Yeah,
keep
no, I
the
can't
fire
change
going,
it
man.
now.
No,
Can't
you
change it
can't
now.
change it. You can change the photo, but you can't change the name.
Yeah, not the username.
The legend, the one and only John Foley. John, how you doing, man? Where can we follow you on social
yes,
media?
sir. You can find me at 2008 Phils with a Z, primarily on Twitter. And if you haven't checked out Blue Sky, check out Blue Sky. It's
Look at that in Blue Sky.
we're building a nice little community over there. It's smaller.
Is that where all your
smaller
World
season.
Series tweets are going? The 2008 season, are they all Blue Sky?
Hey, you have to come over and check it out. Maybe you'll find them.
Hey,
there.
John, you need to start back again when the Phillies were 24 and 16. I mean, it's time for it start it again.
I'll tell you what, they're outpacing both 2008 and 1918
Yeah,
right now.
honestly,
And,
John, those are your best tweets when you compare 1980 to 2008, and everybody just goes on this
I
like,
love it,
"Oh,
man.
we
I
are
love
so
it.
back."
I
I love it.
I love it. By the way, today marks 25% of the season, so a quarter of the season is over today. So very, very interesting, and things are the best is yet to come. Thank you so much, guys. Jeff, where can we follow you in social media? The one and only Jeff Kerr.
You can follow me at Jeff Kerr CBS. I'll be at the Phillies game tomorrow. I'll be there Friday. I'll be there Sunday. And I got stories on Mick Abel and Garrett Stubbs coming up, along with some Major
look
League
at that.
Baseball stuff. So yeah, it's going to be pretty big. Oh, by the way, the NFL schedule comes out this week, which is my Christmas. So yeah, I'll be pretty busy.
man.
Take a break, man.
By
I'm
the
worried
way,
about you.
no, you cannot leave.
Take a break. I'll do that.
What's going to be the first? I think the first game of the Eagles is going to be Eagles versus the I was going to say the Redskins, the Commanders. I don't know what are. I mean, it's either Lions, Rams, or Commanders. That's my guess. One of those three.
My bold prediction is it's the Bears.
That's
And-
mine as well.
Yeah, and they will face the Commanders on Christmas. That's my other bold
On
prediction.
Christmas. Look at that. Okay.
Oh, by the way, if I
it's recorded. It's recorded, so you hear.
I'm
you heard
just
it here
gonna say
first.
is if I happen to be right, I do work for one of the broadcast partners. No, I do not know the schedule at this present time.
Hey, don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we do this for you guys. Thank you so much in the thousands we had today. So it's wonderful for you guys to join us for Phillies Weekly. We do this every single week. And the most important thing, all these guys are part of the team. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. And we look forward to next week. Next week, we'll do it. We'll have a special guest. Jeff, do you want to say who will be joining us next week?
Yeah, we'll be having Sports Radio WIP's Rob Ellis on next Sunday night. So it's gonna
Rob
be a fun
Ellis,
show.
I mean, John, join us every week. And maybe because Tyler's not joining us next week, we ask you, Luke, to join us. So it's always a pleasure
Amen.
to have you all to join us every single week. And hey, go Phils, 5-1.
Phils.
We're hot.
Go
We're hot.
Phils.
And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, Jeff, at the stadium. Thank you so much, guys. God bless. And thank you for joining us every single week.
See you guys.
See you later.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, campanazo. Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y